What's up, everybody? Brian with Living Jeep and Adventuring. Welcome back to the channel. This week we got something kind of cool. We're going to fill up some 37-inch tires using an MSA tank that a firefighter would use to breathe inside of a house that's on fire. And we're going to use these hoses from Rhino USA. We're going to hook these up to this, fill these tires up. I'm going to show you exactly what I use to build this. We're going to talk about everything. It's going to be pretty cool, kind of informative. Not my typical kind of thing, but I'm really excited to use this, and it works pretty good, so check it out. All right, guys, so this is about all you need right here. So you're going to need your MSA tank. You get those from your local fire department, or you can get them on eBay. I think they're a little bit more expensive, but you can get them. Now, a lot of people worry about the manufacture date and these tanks only being good for 10 years. Most of the time when a fire department gets rid of them, they're still, you know, they're out of date or something's wrong with them. So kind of be careful of, you know, which one you get. These here I got from my local fire department, and the only reason they were getting rid of them was, yes, they were getting a little bit older, but they were getting all new tanks. So these are still in date for, I think, another year or two. Once they go out of date, I don't know if they're going to fill them, but I'll deal with that when I get there. I don't have very much money in this. So you're going to need your tank, and you're going to need this here. You can get on Amazon. It is a paintball tank fill that hooks directly into your MSA tank. One thing to keep in mind is they do sell several different types of these, but this one is a paintball fill station kit. It will screw directly into your MSA tank on your outlet. It will screw directly in right here, like so. Okay. Now, once you got that tight, you're going to take your crescent wrench, you're going to kind of crank down on it a little bit, make it pretty snug. Now you are done with that end. And so you basically need a tank, your paintball station fill kit, your hose adapter or your hose clip, and a bushing. Okay, so the thread on this is 1/8 inch pipe. The thread here is 1/4 inch pipe. They don't work. So what I did was I found myself a little bushing that went from an 1/8 inch. So you screw that onto your 1/8 inch pipe thread, and then you screw on your fitting over top. And that's really all it is. And now technically this thing's ready to go, but to do it the right way, you're going to take the end of your hose and you're going to take your pipe tape, wrap it around a couple times. Just got to be careful, don't bunch it up anywhere. And then just rip it off. Alright, now you take your bushing, you screw your bushing on. You're going to take your pipe tape, and I think this thing I'm going to roll it at some point. There we go. Let me rip that bad stuff off. Alright, you're going to tape this end up as well. Alright, so I usually do 2 or 3 wraps, and that kind of takes care of that. Now you're going to take your hose fitting, you're going to screw it on to your bushing. Now, I found it easier to just tighten all 3 up at the same time. So I'll put my 14mm wrench on and my 19 on, and I'll just tighten them up. They both tighten down at the same time. So kind of makes it a little bit easier. All right. And you're done. So as long as you have everything you need to do this, you can have it built in 5 minutes. It's pretty nice. So you can hook an air hose up to this, but you cannot hook like an air gauge up to this. This is a direct feed system, so it will directly feed into your tires. So unless you have a setup like what I have here from Rhino USA, then you won't really be able to monitor how much air you have in your tires. So I really recommend getting one of these kits. And the way these kits work, alright, so keep in mind that you cannot hook this up to like your typical air hose with an air gauge, you know, on the end of it, because there's no regulator in this system. Now you can build this with a regulator on it, but then it starts getting expensive because it has to be a very high pressure regulator. It has to be at least 4,500, 5,000 psi regulator to regulate it down to about 100 psi or 90 psi, whatever your working pressure is going to be. So what I did was, I had this kit from Rhino USA already. They sent it to me a while back. I have yet to use it, but basically all I did was hook the kit up, just like so. Turn the gauge on, because this is a direct feed system. This actually runs off of like an air compressor or something like that, and this tells you what your air pressure is on all 4 tires. So you hook one hose up per tire. There's 4 hoses. Hooks up to all your tires all at the same time, so you can fill them all at the same time. Makes everything super easy. It does take about 25 minutes or so to fill a set of 37-inch tires all the way up, but I don't feel like that's bad from being completely flat to 35 psi. So once you have it hooked up, all you're going to do is crack your valve, and it's going to pressurize the entire system. So like right now, the entire system is pressurized, according to my gauge, about 12 pounds. You don't really want to put too much pressure in this. If I crack this thing all the way open, it'll probably explode all these lines. So you do have to be very, very careful while doing it. But this does have a release to release all that air pressure that is in the lines. And there is a release right here as well. So I'll re-inflate it. And you take that release out, and it releases all your air pressure. So to fill your tires, make sure that's closed. Make sure this is set on inflate if you have the Rhino USA set up. Hook all 4 of your tires up, which I'll show you all this here in just a minute. It's kind of cool, the whole setup is. And you just regulate your air pressure by this valve here. You turn it on, and if you're all the way at 0, you'll see your air pressure climb up to about 5 psi. But once the pressure starts to drop in your tank, you do crack your valve open a little bit more, and then a little more, and then a little more. Like I said, it does take about 25 minutes to fill up a set of 37-inch tires, but that was from 0 psi. 0. Filled them all the way up to 35. One tank. Now, is that ideal for some people? Probably not. But will it work for me? It will absolutely work. Now, this isn't going to be my main source of air, but this is a good backup. So if a rig is down somewhere that you can't get your rig to, or you don't have enough air hose or whatever, you can take this, run down there, hook your air hose up, fill your tire up real quick, and be on your way, essentially. So I'm going to get all this mess picked up. And like I said, I am going to leave a link to everything that I've used to build this. This won't be in there. You can find this on Rhino USA. They sell those all day long. It's a pretty cool kit. But everything from this valve and these fittings, I'll link in the description below if you want to build one. So let's go outside. I'm going to show you how this thing works. This thing's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited to show you. All right, as you can see, show you all 4 tires. They are flat. They have 0 air pressure. None at all. They are completely flat. All 4 of them are. I'm going to fill them up with this little setup here. So I'm not sure how long this is going to take, but I'm going to go ahead and turn the tank on, let it feed through, and air pull tires. Almost there. So we're reading about 37 on the gauge right now. Let me shut the air off to it, and we're at 33.4. And normally I run them between 30 and 35. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can pump them up to 35. Let's see here. So that's 34.3. $35 right on the money. Well, guys, there you have it. So keep in mind, you know, this isn't the most ideal setup. Obviously, having a power tank or some type of compressed air system would probably be best. But for cheap, this will fill your tires up. Now, also, this thing didn't start out as full, okay? It had about 3,200 PSI in it, and you can pump these up to about 4,000, 4,500. And it'll fill your tires up. You know, these are 37-inch tires, and they were at 0 pounds. You saw that everything was completely flat, and it aired them all 4 of them up to 35. Now, are you ever going to run into that situation? Probably not. Okay, I mean, worst case, you may get 1 flat tire, 2 flat tires most, but this setup will air those tires up. And if you noticed, while I was airing them up, I did have to keep cracking this valve open a little bit more. As this pressure drops in the tank, you got to open this up a little bit more to let more air out, to kind of push the air into your tires. So that being said, this tank here is a MSA tank that fire department around here had. They were going to throw them out. They were all full. I grabbed 4 of them. They will fill these back up for me, but they will not fill them up to 4,500 PSI. They'll probably fill them up to about 3,500, which is fine. It's still going to work. If this video helped you out any, or if you like the idea, make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, do all that fun stuff, sign up for the memberships if that's what you're into. If not, no big deal. I still appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully you make yourself one of these little tanks, because they're pretty awesome.